Hi and welcome. My name is Rafael Taubinger and I'm Global FAE Manager at IAR Systems. In this video, I want to show you how to unpack and set up the IAR RISC-V GD32V evaluation board. So in this kit, you get included the RISC-V board with a GigaDevice. So if you look at it, you can see that there are many LEDs, switches, peripherals. We have all kind of different sensors also included, humidity, temperature, light, even a USB serial adapter. And in order to work with this RISC-V board, you of course need an iJet Lite from IAR Systems. That's a debug probe. And the debug probe actually gets connected to the board through this MIPI-20 cable. So this MIPI-20 cable mainly needs to be connected to the board, and I will show you how this looks like. So I'm connecting the board to the iJet Lite debugger. So once you have everything connected here, you will see how it looks like, mainly connecting to the JTAG MIPI-20 connectors here on both sides. And from here, also included in this kit, we provide you with USB cables, actually two. So the USB cable is required, of course, to connect the JTAG here, the iJet debug probe, to the computer later. And what will also happen here is that it will power supply the board, but you can also supply the power through the USB connector here. And for that we provide a second cable that can also be used, of course, later for the USB serial communication. And this is all you need to know when setting up the board that is included in the RISC-V evaluation kit. So now let's move on to the next steps and the installation of the IAR embedded workbench for RISC-V that are required for the evaluation of the IAR RISC-V kit. So you probably got an email from IAR already with all the additional information. So we include some licensing guides and quick start guides. But even more important, there is a getting started guide included in this email. And you will also see that there is a link with the FTP for downloading the installer, the license number that you will need to activate the tool. And finally, also you will get the enrollment key for the IAR Academy On Demand. So you get access to our On Demand Academy, and you will be able to learn a bit more about the embedded workbench, do some practical labs and hands-on, all included in this kit. So as mentioned, the getting started will give you all the step-by-step what you need to know to install first the embedded workbench, give you additional details about the kit. So there is again the step-by-step for setting up the hardware, and all the examples for this board are actually hosted on the IAR Systems GitHub repository. So if you go to IAR Systems GitHub, you will be able to download the examples that are available right now. But please also feel free to contribute on more examples. So as recommended in the Getting Started guide and also the email that you got from IAR, we need to start by downloading the IAR Embedded Workbench, and we also should download all the examples or even clone what's available on GitHub. So if you go to github.com IAR Systems, we'll see that we have a special repository for the IAR RISC-V GD32V evaluation board. And as you can see, you can easily clone or even download these examples. That's what I will do right now. Once the download is completed, it's time to start the installation. The installation should be straightforward. It will of course install the complete embedded workbench, and you can of course explore the installation media, look on the release notes if you want, but this process, it's really straightforward. You only need to continue by pressing next, and it of course will install some additional drivers that might be required for the embedded workbench to work correctly. You can also customize the installation folder if needed. While the installation is running now, we can already unpack the examples that we downloaded from GitHub. So I'm creating a local folder here, but feel free to copy these examples to any location in your PC. And what you will see is that we have the full structure here from the examples. So we include initially a few examples that can be used as reference, how to set the clock tree, work with timers, toggle the IOs or LEDs. And finally, there is a project for the user communication that actually uses the USB to serial converter. Once the installation is completed, we will mainly have the option to have a look on the release notes, but also launch the embedded workbench. On the first time you start the IAR embedded workbench for RISC-V, you will be requested to activate a license number. So included in this kit, you get access to a 30-day evaluation license, and the information, as mentioned before, it's available on the welcome email. So once we add the license number to be activated, we just need to continue here with the browser. And of course, since it's the first time we are using this license, a registration step is required, but that is straightforward. So once we confirm the registration, there will be an email sent directly to you. So please make sure to confirm that registration on the link that you get on your email. So from here, we can move to the next steps. And we can mainly click next to finalize the registration process here. If you just make sure that the keys are installed locally on your machine, that might take a few seconds on your side. So as I said, the IAR embedded workbench, it's now available for 30 days for your use. So now that we have everything in place, the license is installed. Once we start the IAR embedded workbench, maybe it's already open, otherwise you need to start it again from the start menu from Windows. We want to open an example project that we downloaded from GitHub. So if you go to File, Open Workspace, and to the folder where we saved all the projects, we mainly need to open the IAR embedded workbench workspace file. It's the EWW file. So we will open this project. In this case, I choose the LED, the toggle IO project. And as you can see, the structure, it's already in place. So we have all the files required in this project in the tree here. So we have the main file, we have all the drivers and so on in the file, for example, the GPIO file. And for you, very important to know is that we need to go to the project options, and we should just double check the settings we have. In this case, we are using the GigaDevice GD32VF103 that is populated on this RISC-V evaluation kit. But it's important for you to know that we support many other vendors also here on the list. And if you want to test a bit the limits from the IAR compiler, you're of course welcome. You can go to the compiler settings and play around with the size and speed optimizations that we are well known. And finally, what you need to do in this case, make sure that the iJet driver is selected. As you know, the kit includes an iJet Lite. And in this case, since I'm providing the power to the board from the probe, make sure that the target power and from the probe option is enabled. So you don't need to connect the extra USB cable to power the board. From here, I mainly can confirm with OK. And I need to build my project. I will do a rebuild all just to make sure everything is fine. No errors are expected here. Very good. And the next step is of course to connect to the target. So we do a download and debug. We will connect to the target here, and once that step is completed, we will end here on main. As you can see, I already have some windows open here. You can go to view, open the memory window,
go to watch or locals to see variables, and you can also easily, by double click, just select a line here and enable breakpoints. And on the right side you can also see the disassembly. So if you are using custom instructions, for example, you would be able to see that on your side. And of course, now I just need to click here on go, and the application will run here. It's toggling the LED. There is a delay here in between, and every time it comes to that line of code, we are of course stopping on that breakpoint. So as you can see, it's very easy connecting the target, downloading examples, installing the tool, so you have everything you need for doing the evaluation here of the embedded workbench for RISC-V with the IAR RISC-V evaluation kit. But we want to give you, of course, more possibilities, and I really recommend that you go to the IAR On Demand Academy. On the email that you got from IAR, the welcome email for the kit, there is a link together with access key that you can use to get access to the quick course with the RISC-V board and IAR Embedded Workbench. You'll learn some good information about the compiler, about the debugger, the IDE itself. But I highly recommend it. There are actually 3 labs included that will give you the best experience when evaluating.
So thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And please, if you have any feedback, make sure to reach out to us. We are really happy to assist you and give you more information. Thank you.